Welcome. Welcome to Fl'AwesomeBlossom. My name is Kiki, and it is my privilege and my pleasure to be your host today. All right, my blooming blossoms, if you are a returning bud, thank you so much for your love and support. What do you think of the new look? What do you think of my entire visage, mes yeux? What do you think of my eyes? I swapped out my sunglasses and put my prescription glasses on, so now I can actually see. Yay! And you can see my eyes, my sparkly eyes. And you can see my earnestness. And you can see me smizing. All right, here we go. We are getting into it today. Guess what? I learned a new word today. And that means you're going to learn a new word today. Maybe you've heard this word before, but I can tell you it's not really in circulation, but we're going to try and bring it back because I was thinking about it. What are we doing here at Fl'AwesomeBlossom? What's our mission statement? What are we? Who are we? What are we doing? And our biggest belief here at Fl'AwesomeBlossom is that humans and society can change. They can change for the better, for more positive things. And I did not realize that there's one word that actually sums all that up. Meliorism. I'm going to say it again. Meliorism. M-E-L-I-O-R-ism. It's a Latin root. Melior means to better, to make better. And the concept of meliorism is the belief that people or society can change in a positive way as long as they are making actions towards that. So this is a belief system that is rooted in optimism, but it is grounded in action. So it's kind of that happy medium between positive thinking and pessimism. So it's a positive, like, yes, I believe that humans can change, and here's how we can do it. Make little mini changes. And what I had been saying is like, I want to be the change in the world. Well, I don't have to say that. I can say I am a meliorite, or I am meliorific. And that's what we're going to try and do here at Fl'AwesomeBlossom. So I want to talk a little bit about why we're here, what happened, how did I get here to this podcast land. I know in previous episode I was telling you that I was a manual therapist, and I was very cagey about the type of therapy that I was doing, and it was because I hadn't fully committed myself to this podcast, and I was really concerned about putting myself out there, about being known. I don't know. Not that I wasn't really too worried about being recognized exactly, but just I'm going to be talking about some pretty personal stuff. And sometimes, like, you want to keep some of that stuff personal, but sometimes it's good to have these conversations that are a little bit scary, a little bit personal, because we can learn. You never even know. Like, maybe a conversation can change your life. Maybe a conversation can save your life. And I'm going to give you an example about this that happened with me. I was in my neighborhood. This is a couple years ago. I think it was 2021. And I was walking my dogs in my neighborhood, and I ran into a neighbor friend of mine, a neighbor lady, and I was not having a very good day. I was home from work. I was having massive period pain, massive menstrual cramps. I had a huge amount of blood loss because I'm going through perimenopause at this point, and it does change your flow. It changes your menstrual cycle changes. It is called the change of life for real because lots of things are changing. And for me personally, this translated into massively heavy flows, losing so much blood that I was very weak. So I was off work. I was having a lot of cramps. I ran into my friend, and I think I was bending over. She inquired, how are you doing? And I just said it. Oh my gosh, I'm having the worst cramps. Oh my gosh, my period, blah, blah, blah. This is awful. I'm going through the change, blah, 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 blah. And then I mentioned something about, I'm having a lot of clotting and I passed a slab. And she's like, what? And I explained, and I over-explained. But then, because I have my medical knowledge, plus I'd had a conversation with my own doctor about this, I did say, these things are normal. These changes in your period are normal. I'm just having a bad time with mine. And I was told, and I know, that if I were to pass a blood clot that was bigger than, now I'm just going to let you know exactly where I am. Bigger than a toonie. What's a toonie? A toonie is a coin that we use as currency in the country that I live. All right? It's about that big. And if you pass a clot that's about that big or bigger, then definitely you need to be having a conversation with your doctor and checking things out. There could be some endometriosis there. It could be a lot of different things. There could be polyps. Like, you just absolutely, if you're passing blood clots that size, you need to get it checked out. So I was mentioning this to her, and I said, I've already had my checkups and blah, blah, blah. And I know that this is my normal, but it doesn't feel very good. And she was then disclosing, well, her last few periods were like this. And then she disclosed to me what they were like. And I said, that sounds like you should probably be talking to your doctor about the following things. It seems to me that perhaps you have fibroids. And I said this because I have all this medical knowledge from going to massage therapy school in British Columbia, Canada. We have some of the highest education level for massage therapy in the world. So, was I particularly offended during my career having to deal with third-party insurance companies? Was I happy with how they were trying to treat humans as, not human? No. A lot of insurance companies dehumanize people, right? And then they would also try really hard to compartmentalize people into that's just a body. But that's not what a human is. A human is a body, a mind, and a soul. We are multifaceted. We are not just our body. And my body is not going to be the exact same as your body. Even if we are both born female right now, we could be twins. And my body might not be responding the same as the body right next to me. So it has a lot to do with not just our physicality, but our emotional well-being, our socioeconomic, everything. There's so many factors that turn you into you. If you were born into privilege, if you were born into wealth, you are often less sick than people who were born into poverty. And it has a lot to do with you get access to better food. You get access to better rest. You get access to better pretty much everything. And if you don't think that having good food, non-chemical laced food, sleep, and resources, if you don't think that having access to massive amount of resource doesn't make you a healthier individual, then we're just not going to agree on that. You might have heard me mention the Monkeysphere. We're going to talk a lot about the Monkeysphere because this might just be one of the biggest problems that we have in the world today. A Monkeysphere, it's a psychological concept. Or a sociological concept where you can, they believe that a human has the capacity for empathy to up to around 150 people. And those are people that you are interacting with on the regular. So when I say Monkeysphere, it doesn't just incorporate like my immediate household or my immediate family or my friends, my coworkers. Like there are levels of Monkeysphere. But the idea of a Monkeysphere is that you pretty much top out your empathy at around 150 individuals. And it's difficult for humans to conceptualize beyond that. And I think we all know, we can all agree that this is true because why? Well, let's just think about what's going on right now. Right today in 2025, in June of 2025, we have this little strip of land called Gaza, and it is being bombarded. So obviously there's some sort of resource there. There's something there that is so important that this land is worth fighting, is worth destroying hundreds of thousands of lives over. And I'm sitting here in this beautiful little studio, and my heart is breaking for these people in Gaza, because I am a human being, and I am aware that human beings are living there, and they are being bombed, and they are being murdered, and nobody else in the world seems to give a fuck. It's happening. It's happening so much that pretty soon, it's probably going to be in a matter of months, that the entire Palestinian population of the Gaza Strip will be completely annihilated, and the Israelis will just walk right in and be like, "We're here now." It's not great, and the reason why nothing is being stopped is because it's difficult. It's difficult to imagine these people so far away. And then you think, well, I'm here and they're there. And it's just easier to be like, well, what's my dog doing? Or what's on TV? It's very easy to just be ignoring the fact that these things are happening, that these atrocities are continuing. If we really want to stop what's going on there, we have to actually acknowledge that what's going on is human genocide. And it's, how do we stop it? I don't know. I'm not really sure how I here can do that. But what I'm hoping is that we can open up our minds, and we can open up our empathy. Maybe we have capacity to be empathetic beyond 150. Maybe we're just being told 150 is our cap. And it's also hard to keep your focus on the problem when people are trying to get you to focus elsewhere, so that you ignore that problem and it continues, because that's serving another agenda. So at Fl'AwesomeBlossom, we are focusing on the positive. We are focusing on how can we be positive agents of change. Well, it's how we present ourselves here on this platform, the information that I am going to be presenting to you, and also how we act in our own lives, right? So as an example, right, I never had children. That was just a boat that missed me. Really, it's too bad. I didn't meet someone that I wanted to have children with until I was, pretty much too old to do that. So that happened, or didn't, as the case may be. But I have, in my Monkeysphere, I have a little 3-year-old, and he's so precious. He's so precious to me. My entire goal when I spend time with this child is to fill his time with me with positivity and creativity and learning and fun. So it's been really amazing. In particular, I would say the last year, because he's speaking a lot more. We're having a lot more interactions, which is amazing and lovely. And you know what? There's just something absolutely amazing about a little kid screaming your name from across a soccer field and running to you because they're so excited to see you. That's lovely. I get that from my dogs too, but this was a different kind of dopamine drop with this little guy. So yeah, of course, I love this little dude. He's an amazing individual so far. And my goal with him is to always be a positive agent. Does this mean let him have his way? No. Does it mean let him get away with bad behavior? No. Actually, the last time we saw him, he had a bit of a runny nose, and he wanted to blow his own nose, which is great. I give him his Kleenex, blows his nose. And then I told him, I said, hey, you know what? When your nose is stuffy and you can't breathe, Kiki can show you something to do to help you out. You can squish your eyebrows, and it will help you to breathe through your nose. And I showed him, and I'm going to show you, because you can do this. This is actually something I would tell my patients a lot. If you ever get a stuffy nose, maybe you get allergies, whatever. If you get a little bit of a stuffy nose and you need to blow it, this is a good thing to do right beforehand. All right, here we go. So you want to take your fingers and you want to have them in a pincer grip kind of situation like this. And you want to make sure that that thumb is right on that brow bone, right? You want to touch that bone. And then you just grab that hair, just that top part of the hair of the eyebrow, and you squish it. And you just keep going across the face like this. And I like to do it 3 times, but that's because I've got this really crazy thing with the number 3. If I send you emojis, I'm going to send you 3 of them. If I smooch you, I'm going to give you 3 smooches. If I repeat myself, I often somehow seem to be repeating myself 3 times. Sometimes I do the 3 thing on purpose. Other times it's just me. It's just something in me. The 3 threes. I don't know. Maybe it's really a 9 situation. But anyway, let's leave that numerology woo-woo for a moment. All right, now you know how to squish your eyebrows to help clear some of your sinuses up in here. It stimulates a nerve that kind of like makes this turn a little bit more liquidy so you could actually blow your nose. There you go. You keep that one in your back pocket. You're welcome. There's going to be more things like that. All right. I am excited to share with you a lot of my human body knowledge because it's really fun. And why do I keep saying human body? Human. Why do you say human? Of course we're human. Yes, of course we're human. Are we human though? People are trying to put microchips in people's brains to dehumanize them. So I want to keep reminding people, you're human. Don't let go of your humanity. Keep your humanity. Do not let corporations, insurance companies, your family, do not let people steal, corrupt, and manipulate your humanity. Remember what it means to be human. You are a sentient being inside of this amazing body on this earth. And if we are meant to have dominion over the earth, dominion it doesn't mean dominate. It's more like a shepherd. We should be taking care of this world, not actively destroying it at every freaking opportunity. So here we are at Fl'AwesomeBlossom, fully accepting ourselves and our flaws, fully going full kiki, and fully embracing Meliorism, marching forward in the change for positive. All right, my blooming blossoms, mes petits choux, and my darling dahlias. Thank you so much for joining us today and for listening in. I hope you learned a new word today. I hope you take that philosophy, and I hope you start making some micro changes into Meliorism. Let's be the change that we want to see in the world. Until next time, I hope you are out there living your life in full flossom, whatever that means for you.